Well, just a quick story. One of the things that happened with us one time is we had a client that I don't think we'd really realized they hadn't been on vacation, and we'd been with them a year and a half, and they hadn't, because they're taking days here and there, but they hadn't been on a long vacation. And I don't think I was really even paying attention. I don't think the Proxy was really paying attention to it. And one day they were going out of town. They were going to be out of the country for 2.5 weeks, and they were really concerned. And it was because they were the first call for absolutely everything. And so the very first thing we did was just figure out who you're going to call instead. And we'd never done that. He'd never gone through that process of who do you call in this case, because anytime he was gone before, you still called him. So if there was a finance issue while he was gone for a long weekend, you called him. If there was a staffing issue, you called him. And now it's going to be 2.5, 3 weeks out of the country. Let's not do that. Let's really be away. And so the first thing we did was just come up with a call list of who you call if, which just started us down that path of, okay, when you get back, we're going to go farther down this path.
Yeah. So as you get started with planning what succession looks like, part of it is a mindset shift for the executive. And that's an example of what you just gave. But then the organization has to go through some things. So what are some of the key initiatives that we put in place to help people recognize that there is a plan and that there is an infrastructure behind succession?
Yeah, where we start really is, again, that list of who you call just for backups is a good place just to be thinking through, because that process makes a leader start thinking about who would I trust if there was a staffing issue. If someone that there's a key employee gives their notice, who do we call since they're going to be gone? So we start there.
And that's just part of key process mapping, right? I mean, you go through those key processes. And so that is one of those quick things that we do, that we identify all the time. Why is your name on all of these
right, why are you on everything? And then that really does lead straight to, okay, right now, here are your responsibilities. So really thinking about, with the leader, how do you think about your responsibilities in the company? And when they start lining those out by department, usually by function, then you start thinking about, okay, so you're the answer for all things. Who do we have on the staff that could start taking those? So who are our high potentials, or who are just heir apparent? Those are leaders in our organization. We just haven't tapped them to be that level of leader. Now, you may not be all the way in that place. You might be farther along, and maybe you have one of those people. You really have a trusted person on the team that you feel pretty confident they could take over customer service or client relationships, or or maybe you have a finance person that's strong like that. But it is really then identifying, okay, the hats that you need to be wearing as a CEO. So as your company is growing and you're legitimately a CEO, you're not the one in the business that same way. You're legitimately doing the 2 or 3 big things of a CEO, the brand and the culture, and really guiding your business that way. Well, then who are your hypos? Who are those people that you've identified that can take other roles? And then where are those gaps? Where do we not have people? And it's time to be thinking about, when I put a plan out for 3 years, I need to have one of these, and I need to have one of these, so that I can start watching for that while I'm hiring, and go down that path. So that's a big place where we start.